Namaskar, Cambridgians. Children, today we are going to revise chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Chemical properties tells about the nature of element, in which way it reacts with other elements, and what kind of product it forms. So, all these about the chemical properties. The first property which we can understand with the help of reaction with oxygen. When metals react with oxygen, there is a formation of metal oxide. Okay. When metals react with oxygen, there is a formation of metal oxide. But all the metals do not react with oxygen with the same rate of reaction. Some of the metals, for example, potassium, sodium, when these metals kept in air, they react with oxygen and starts burning itself without providing heat. So these are most reactive metals, whereas some of the metals like calcium, magnesium, aluminium, they require a small amount of heat energy. When we burn magnesium ribbon in the presence of oxygen, it reacts with oxygen and forms magnesium oxide. In this sequence, some metals cannot react or they do not react with oxygen even by providing a large amount of heat energy to them. And the example of these metals are copper, silver, gold and mercury. They do not react with oxygen in normal condition. So these are considered as a least reactive metals. So let us take an example of most reactive metal, that is sodium. When sodium reacts with oxygen, there is a formation of sodium oxide. Sodium oxide, the formula of sodium oxide is Na2O. Formula of sodium oxide is Na2O and its state is S. We can show state of any compound with the help of some of the alphabets, with the help of some of the symbols. For example, S, it stands to show solid state. Similarly, small n written in braces, it represents liquid state of any substance, and G stands for gaseous state of any compound. Okay. So when sodium reacts with oxygen, it forms sodium oxide. Magnesium, it reacts with oxygen, magnesium oxide is formed. Copper reacts with oxygen and forms copper oxide. But the condition of all these reactions, these are not same. For example, in the first case, there is no heat energy is required and the reaction is highly exothermic. It means a large amount of heat energy evolved during this reaction. Second reaction, magnesium, it requires burning, means it requires a small amount of heat to react with oxygen. Whereas copper, it does not react with oxygen in the normal condition and a large amount of heat energy is required to accomplish this reaction. But in all three situations, in all three conditions, same product is formed and that product is metal oxide. Now, when we dissolve metal oxide in water, we get a solution. Okay, metal oxide plus water, we get a solution. And when we dip red litmus paper into that aqueous solution of metal oxide, red litmus paper turns into blue. It means it directly indicates that solution of metal oxides, or we can say metal oxides, are basic in nature. What kind of nature of metal oxide? Metal oxides are basic in nature. Now the second reaction of metals is a reaction with water. When metals react with water, there are two types of products are formed. First is metal hydroxide and second one is metal oxide. But how can we decide that in which case metal hydroxide is formed and in which case metal oxide is formed? Yes, there is a trick. As you can see that I have written some of the metals in a sequence and this is a reactivity series. What is this? This is reactivity series. Reactivity series is the arrangement of metals in decreasing order of their reactivity. In decreasing order of their reactivity, at the top there are most reactive metals are arranged, whereas as we go down in the series, the reactivity of metals decreases. So which one is the most reactive metal? Potassium, then sodium, then Ba stands for barium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, nickel, tin, Sn for tin, then hydrogen, copper, mercury, Hg, Ag, silver and gold, Au. So In this reactivity series, metals are arranged in the decreasing order of their reactivity. Now again, come to this one. We were discussing about reaction with water. This reactivity series helps to decide which product is being formed. For example, if high reactive metals react with water, then metal hydroxide is formed. Okay, when high reactive metals react with water, metal hydroxide is formed, whereas moderately reactive matter means the metals which are in the middle of the reactivity series, when they react with water, metal oxide is formed, and low reactive metals, they do not react with water in normal condition. So by dividing reactivity series into three categories, most reactive metals, moderately reactive metals and low reactive metals, we are able to distinguish, we are able to decide that which product is formed. Highly reactive metals always form metal hydroxide, whereas moderately reactive metal forms metal oxide, and low reactive metals, they do not react with water in normal condition. Let us understand this reaction with the help of some of the example. When sodium reacts with water, Na plus water, it gives sodium hydroxide, because sodium comes in the category of more reactive metals. The formula of sodium hydroxide is NaOH and should be written as capital, because Na is the symbol of one element sodium. O should be written in capital letters because O stands for oxygen and H stands for hydrogen. So every single first word of the symbol of any element, it should be written as an uppercase. Second metal, that magnesium reacts with water, it forms magnesium oxide. As you can see, I have divided reactivity series into three categories, and magnesium comes in the moderately reactive metal. So when moderately reactive metals react with water, it gives metal oxide. So Mg plus H2O, there is a formation of MgO plus hydrogen gases evolved. Copper, it comes in the least reactive metals, so it does not react with water in the normal conditions. Here we can see that a common product, that is hydrogen gas, is released in each and every reaction. Hydrogen is a colorless but highly inflammable gas. It catches fire very easily, and as we can see that I have just shown the state of hydrogen by upward arrow. So there are two ways to represent the gaseous element. First by writing G in the bracket, and second one by draw the upward arrow in brackets. Okay, so metal plus water, metal hydroxide or metal oxide with the evolution of hydrogen gas. Third chemical property of metals is reaction with acid. When metals react with acid, there is a formation of salt and hydrogen. Here children, salt is not an NaCl. Always salt is not, the formula of salt is not NaCl. NaCl is one of the salt, but all salts are not NaCl. Common salt, you know the formula of common salt, that is NaCl, and all salts are not the example of NaCl. Metal plus acid, salt plus hydrogen gas is evolved. Let us understand this reaction with the help of some of the metal. I have written three metals. One I have taken from more reactive, one from moderately reactive, and one from low reactive metals. Na plus 2HCl gives 2 NaCl plus hydrogen gas. This is the formula of common salt. Common salt and salt, these two are the different things in chemistry. HCl, HCl means hydrochloric acid. The formula of HCl is hydrochloric acid. Zinc plus H2SO4. H2SO4 stands for sulfuric acid. When zinc reacts with sulfuric acid, there is a formation of ZnSO4 plus H2. And copper, it does not react with dilute acids in normal condition because it comes in the low reactivity series. But it reacts with the concentrated acid, and there is a formation of respective salt and hydrogen gas. Now children, I am just explaining one of the tricks to learn this reaction. For example, this acid which is given is HCl. Now what you will do, you will just break down or you will divide this acid into two parts, H and Cl, and just attach or just join this metal sodium with this negative part or with the second part of the acid, means Na with Cl. So what compound you will find? NaCl. And what is left? 2H, means hydrogen gas is evolved again in this reaction. Next reaction is zinc plus sulfuric acid. Again I'll follow the same pattern. I'll divide this acid into two parts, H2 and SO4. Zinc reacts with sulfate and hydrogen gas will be evolved. The next chemical property of acids we can understand with the displacement reaction. Now let us first define displacement reaction. Reaction in which more reactive matters displaces less reactive matter from its salt solution. It means here we are talking about two matters and we will compare the reactivity of these two matters, and if the one metal is more reactive then it would be able to displace less reactive matter from its salt. For example, A plus salt of B. Here two metals are present, A and B. If A is more reactive than B, then A will displace metal B from its salt solution and there is a formation of salt of A, and B will be separated as a precipitate. It will be separate out. For example, when iron reacts with copper sulfate solution, here I have written AQ. AQ stands for aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means when we dissolve any salt in water, we get aqueous solution. So when iron reacts with copper sulfate solution, as we can see that iron is more reactive than copper. Okay, so iron will displace copper from its salt. Iron will displace copper from its salt and there is a formation of iron sulfate plus copper. Now there is a way to identify this reaction, to recognize this reaction, that chemical reaction has been taken place. The color of copper sulfate is blue. Okay, initially color of copper sulfate is blue. When we put some of the iron pieces, chemical reaction take place and there is a formation of iron sulfate, and we can recognize the formation of iron sulfate by color change. By observing the color change, and the color of the solution will turn from blue to green. Okay. Now if I just reverse the reaction, it means if I put some of the copper pieces in iron sulfate solution, again the two metals, these two are same, but now this time iron is present in the solution form or iron is present in its salt. Again we will compare the reactivity of copper and iron. As we know that copper is less reactive than iron. Okay, iron is present in its salt form. Okay, as copper is less reactive, it will not able to displace iron from its salt. Here children, you need not to confuse regarding these metals. If any of the metal is present in its salt form, then if more reactive metal is added in that aqueous solution, then it will able to displace, and if less reactive metal is added to the solution, then it would not be able to displace. Let us understand this displacement reaction with the help of one more example. We will take some of the silver pieces and add silver pieces in copper sulfate solution. Now which metal is present with its salt? Copper. We will compare the reactivity of silver and copper. As we know that silver is less reactive than copper, so it would not be able to displace copper from its salt. Okay, so what I will write here, I will write no reaction will take place. Now just again reverse the reaction. Now this time I am having some of the copper pieces and silver sulfate solution. Now silver is present with its salt. Again, as we know that copper is more reactive, so it would be able to displace silver from its salt, and there is a formation of copper sulfate and silver will precipitate out. Silver will displaced as a precipitate. Okay, so this is all about chemical properties of metals. Now we will discuss about chemical properties of non-metals. When non-metals react with oxygen in the same way as metals react with oxygen and there is a formation of metal oxide, when non-metals react with oxygen, there is a formation of non-metal oxides. Okay. Now, for example, sulfur is an example of non-metal. When it reacts with oxygen, there is a formation of sulfur dioxide. When carbon reacts with oxygen, there is a formation of carbon dioxide. What we will do? We will dissolve these two gases in water and we get aqueous solution. Again we will follow the same process. We will repeat the same process. We will dip the blue litmus paper in the solution of these oxides. then blue litmus paper, it will turn into red, which shows that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. What is the nature of non-metallic oxides? Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Now the next reaction is non-matters, they do not react with water and acids. In normal conditions, non-matters do not react with acids and water, whereas displacement reaction, only a few non-matters they show displacement reaction. And the reactivity, if we talk about in case of non-matters, then it would be fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Okay, only some of the new non-matters they show displacement reaction, whereas this non-matters they do not react with water and acids, and non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So that's all about chemical properties of matters and non-matters. In our next class, in our next video, we will discuss some uses of metals, non-matters, formation of alloys and corrosion. Okay children.